Jesus won. Thank God. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, afterward he was hungry. Matthew 4, verses 1 and 2. Even though his baptism marked the launch of his public ministry, the first thing Jesus did after coming up out of the Jordan was to head into the wilderness for 40 days. Before he began ministering to crowds, he took the time to brace himself for the blood-stained path he must travel. Satan seized upon the isolation and self-denial as an opportunity to derail his mission. All told, it was an ordeal that lasted 40 days. A period of time that should arrest the attention of good Bible students. In his first letters to Corinth, Paul compared Israel's safe passage through the Red Sea to baptism. All our fathers were under the cloud. All passed through the sea. All were baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. And of course, Paul also pointed that the rock, Jesus himself, was there through that experience. Not only was Jesus present with Israel in the cloud, but the wilderness experience also foreshadowed his future ministry. After passing through baptism of the Red Sea, the children of Abraham wandered in the wilderness for a period of 40 years. The parallels are unmistakable. The entire nation of Israel was a type of Christ. Was a type of Christ. Who also left Egypt, was baptized in the Jordan, and entered the wilderness for 40 days. When Israel was a child, God explained to Hosea, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. In addition to the clear parallel, however, there is also a striking contrast to consider. Israel's wandering was a result of having failed in the face of temptation. They failed to believe, they failed to trust. I suppose you could argue the temptation was to fail. But they didn't trust. They didn't obey. They complained. We complain. In Egypt, they'd gotten comfortable with a way of living, a way of doing things. And this experience was new for them. and they could not enter in because of their unbelief. Jesus, on the other hand, deflected the devil's lies by clinging to "it is written." The message is clear. Jesus, the Son of Man, has utterly triumphed where we failed. Well, we can't win back our salvation, so and this is some of my disagreement with the author. It's not so much the fact that we failed, it's more so we're incapable of winning back our salvation, because then we'd be saved by our own works and therefore wouldn't need Jesus in that case, which of course isn't true. We need Jesus because he's the only one capable. Of rectifying that mistake, because only through his sacrifice would things in terms of sin and the victory over it be adequate. Any other sacrifice isn't sufficient long term, but it pointed to something, which was Jesus. So that's the ultimate example, and there's nothing else beyond that. Our part in it is accepting. It's part of being a Christian. Because he walked the same path we did, prevailing where we surrendered, lived our existence but without sin. Today, our own baptism stands as a public declaration, letting the world know that we believe Jesus has already won. And he is coming again. Not because of our own accomplishment, but because of his.